Welcome back to Boss Lady. My name is Ivana, happy to be with you. And of course, with me is Destra Garcia, and we have been having quite a good time. Now, we've been talking business, we've been talking music, producing, the full journey. But she's also a mom. And when I tell you, a mom to quite a girl, oh my gosh, she's got a big personality. You all would have seen her on social media a couple of times too. Beautiful child, absolutely beautiful child. And I want to talk to you about motherhood a bit, we could start from the beginning of it all, the experience throughout it. How has motherhood been for you?
Well, motherhood has been a joy.
Yeah.
Sometimes, most times. I'm also the mother of two other girls. My nieces live with me.
Very nice.
So one of them is 18 and the other just turned 16 2 days ago. And Zai will be 16 in January as well. So it's not easy raising 3 teenage girls.
Oh no, that's going to be
you have chaotic. You have to rule with a firm hand. But in talking about Zaya, from baby to now, it's been such a wonderful experience molding this young mind. She is everything that I ever wanted her to be and more, because I always wanted her to be independent. I've always been supportive of her dreams, what she wants to do. At this stage, we're uncertain what she wants to do or become, but she's in a good place. She's well-rounded. I love the fact that for women, and I would say this I would always advocate for women to be great examples to the younger girls, the younger generation. I'm not talking about your dress code. I'm not talking about, how you carry yourself. I'm talking about what happens here. Yeah. Educate your young girls. Teach them how to be strong. Teach them how to stand up for themselves. Teach them how to be individuals. And I said not about how you dress or carry yourself, because you can carry yourself like a jamette, but you're powerful.
Yeah.
You could carry yourself, you could wear the shortest pants, or you could be, the longest dress. It has nothing to do with who you are on the inside. Yeah. At the end of the day, you have to be happy with who you are. And you align yourself with the Almighty. And if there's something to change about you, He would change it. I don't know who believes in God out there, but I do. Yeah. So I'm sorry if I keep mentioning God as a staple in my life, but that is something I taught my daughter. I think I taught her that too well, because there's not a Sunday that child does not go to church. Without me, she would find herself there.
I love that for her.
So she's very grounded in her faith. Yeah. And she's also, a strong personality. She knows what she wants. I cannot change her mind if she wants to do something.
Oh, we can tell.
No matter what I say or do, she's going to respectfully say, Mommy, all due respect, but I need to do so and so. The other day I tried to stop her from buying the latest iPhone. She said, Mommy, respectfully, I am making my own money as well, because she does some social media stuff and influencing and stuff. Yeah. She said, but I can't afford to buy my own phone. If you would allow me to buy so I'm like, well, what can I say to that?
It's a strong point.
I tell you I'm not buying you no phone, and you tell me with all due respect, I'm making my own money, and if I can buy my own phone, I would like to buy the new iPhone. I'm like, well, it's your money. If you want to waste it, go right ahead.
No, but even like I said on the socials, we would see she will prove her point to you respectfully, as you mentioned, but it's like, listen, Mom, so, and I like that about this child. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah,
she's brave, because I just feel the cough.
Child, run. No, but I love that. I love the relationship that you have with her as well, because it's a case where you can have those conversations, even the difficult ones, and that's a really good place to be between a mom and a daughter. Very beautiful relationship.
You have to listen to the views of someone else, and not because someone is young, they don't have their own ideas. For me, it's all about self-respect. Yeah. You act your age. If you're a child, you act as a child. You're an adult, you act as a grown-up. There's not much that I would curb about her, because she knows how to carry herself. Right? But at the same time, she has her own ideas. So I listen.
And you welcome it.
And I welcome it. I may not agree. And I would just, in the same way she would respectfully express, I would respectfully decline if I do not like the idea of something.
No, I like this. I think it's a great balance in parenting, especially as times are changing. They still have that firm grip, but you will still hear her out. And I think this is a nice way for all of us to learn to parent, all right? So maybe take a little page out of the book. The child turned out good. So
she turned out all right.
We can prove that point to you all as well, right? And I want to ask you, what has probably been the greatest moment of motherhood for you?
The greatest moment? Yeah. Well, having her potty trained at 1.5 years was pretty good.
Well done. Well done. No, that would have been a winning moment for sure.
Oh yeah, that was a winner for sure. You know, and all her other milestones. I'm very proud of each step that she has taken. Speaking up for herself for the first time, you know, reading Harry Potter in one summer. She read all 7 books.
Oh,
that was like wow, because I don't like to read.
Yeah.
I prefer to watch a movie.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people like me out there.
Yes.
But she loves reading. I love that. I like the things that she likes about herself, and I feel proud about the things about her that I am not.
Yeah.
You know, she likes science, I don't like science. I don't know, we're different. But I love everything about her.
Just discovering everything along the way.
And I live vicariously through her as well. She has lots of friends, I don't have plenty.
Right. No, so the difference, you find joy in the differences.
Yeah, I find joy in the differences between us.
I love that about you all. Like I said, beautiful relationship, and God bless it. Just continue doing what you're doing. Now, something else that I wanted to talk to you a bit about is, you know, recently you released a gospel album.
Yeah.
And I was actually one that spoke about this a lot, you know, on air, on my show. A lot of people were surprised, taken aback. Who Destra? Soca star Destra, gospel. But we are learning that you started off with gospel very heavily influencing your life.
Of course.
And we hear you speak about God all the time. So to me, it's not strange. But for a lot of your audience, it was like, what's she doing with gospel? Since when she's in gospel? So tell me a bit about that project and also the response from your end.
So, doing gospel for me, as you said, is not something new.
Yeah.
I just put it on pause. The people that are really hardcore Destra fans, people that have bought my albums, I have 16 soca albums, and now I have one gospel album. We have to fix that. I started doing gospel songs on every single soca album that I was doing up to my 8th album.
Okay.
And then I realized that people were just jumping over the gospel and just listening to the soca. And I made a promise and a vow to God then that, listen, I'm not going to mix the two, and I'm not going to sideline my faith or the love to do gospel music. One day I will do it. And 8 albums after, still no gospel album. And I think it is in the mortality that we talked about earlier, when Royke passed, and I realized that people get to do so much in their lives, and he did so much. He did a lot for culture, he did a lot for humanity, he did a lot for just well-being of everyone. And I started to think, am I doing everything in my power to be the best Destra that I can be? Have I crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's? Am I serving the correct purpose that God has put me here for? I made a promise to God that one day I'm going to do this gospel album. I never said I was going to become church-going Destra. I never said I was going to live in the church or, you know, become an evangelist. But there was a project that I started that I felt within my spirit that I needed to finish. And I did. And in doing so, I had to let people understand the journey and how I got there and how I came to the realization of wanting to do gospel in the first place. My father being an ordained reverend, my mother being in the church very active as well. I'm from a religious / spiritual family. I fast every single Lent, not like most people. I fast 66 like Muslims, but I do observe Lent in a big way. I'm very private about my spirituality, so it's not something that I would have come out in the years gone by and say, listen, all you are fasting now, no more soca or whatever for 40 days. I would never do that.
It's very personal.
But it's personal. But in this journey, I had to let people understand that it was not something new. It was not something that I was experimenting with. It's something that I do every year. And I'm still going to do it next year, whether or not I embark on doing another gospel album or even a gospel concert. It's a part of me that I had to share with my fans and with the world doing this album. Now, there would be people that have different ideas of what they think my journey should look like, but only myself and God can answer what this journey looks like for me. For me, I did the album. It transitioned into a concert. A lot of people came out and supported me, and I was shocked by that, because a lot of the people that supported were also people that love me as a soca artist, but they did understand the journey, and they did understand where I was in that moment. And for some people, they realize that, listen, you don't have to be of a certain mold or fit a certain mold to talk about God. You don't have to fit a certain mold to, you know, spread that message or share that love or embrace that. So it has changed me somewhat, because I do feel that I made an impact in some people's lives, and some people listen to me in a different way. It just made, it sparked a fire in me to want to do more gospel. But in as much as I want to do gospel, I do want to do Christmas music. I do want to do Afrobeats. I do want to do R&B again.
All genres
I
of music.
I want to do all genres of music
Yeah.
because I can.
Yes.
And because God gave us freedom, right? So my dad says something all the time. He always says, stand firm in the liberty that God has given us. He has given us freedom. He died for us so that we could be free. And you're happiest when you're free.
Yeah.
You're happiest when you know that God is ordaining what you're doing and you put God first. There's nothing that I do where I don't put God first. So people are asking me even, are you taking part in Carnival next year? Maybe.
Yeah.
If God says and wills it to be so, of course, because that's where I began, and I do find joy in singing soca. Would it look the same? Would I sing another song like Lucy? I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's left to be seen.
I like that. You see where the journey leads you to,
Yes.
where you're meant to be at that time, and even leading up to the gospel album and even your concert. I remember you saying this in an interview prior to it. I felt incomplete,
Yes.
and as though it's unfinished.
Yes.
We need to fix
Yes.
that. And I was like, I have so much respect for that, because you know when it's your timing, when it's the right timing. So I love that. And something else that you are known for, even today, you'll check out this outfit, is when it comes to your outfits, when it, be it interviews, be it performances, but especially when it comes to performances. I mean, let me make sure that I say this correctly. You said this in an interview where you are much more deliberate in how you dress for stage. So I want to explore this a bit. You could explain to me what exactly you mean by that.
Well, for stage, a lot of people, and I could very well explain this now. For stage, I want to be comfortable.
Right.
Because I want to give my best. Soca music is a music where it's like doing aerobics. You're jumping, you're spinning, you're moving, you're asking the crowd to do stuff. You're an example, you're like a gym instructor on a stage. And I like to be comfortable. And a lot of times, you're sweating. The clothes can't stick to you. You're going to feel uncomfortable, and I hate to feel uncomfortable. You would see me on a stage and the earring is affecting me, I'll pull it out and I'll pelt it. I need to feel absolutely comfortable. People like Peter Elias and Mailing and all these people who have worked with in the past could tell you, Destra needs to be comfortable. It's always an issue with her and fashion, because we see in fashion and she see in comfort which is why I also perform in sneakers. And I think I was the first female to ever really do that back in the day when Alison Hines and Sinel Dunstan, Denise Belfon and everybody was wearing the tall boots and whatnot. I wanted to be comfortable, and I looked at the guys and I said, what are the guys wearing? A t-shirt and a jeans and a sneakers. I want to dress like that so that I am comfortable, so that I could give you 100% energy on stage at that time. So that's what I mean when I say that. And I'll give you a story that happened to me on tour.
Yes, please.
After the gospel concert, here I am feeling kind of in between because I'm traveling, and I want people to not say, well, it was a papi show thing with Destra with the gospel. Look how she come back and wearing she short pants. So I put on a whole outfit, a long pants, long shirt, and
very conservative.
Very conservative. And I was so uncomfortable, but I was telling myself, if I have to do this soca thing, I am going to do it in a conservative way, because I just do a gospel album.
Right.
But I went contrary to what I kept saying. I was listening to the voice of God all the time. And now all of a sudden I'm listening to the voice of society that is saying, you do a gospel album, you need to change your dress code. I mean, maybe I need to curb my dress code. Maybe I will not go on stage ever again with a thongs on. Right? Okay. Because I don't feel comfortable wearing clothes like that. But it doesn't mean I can't wear a short pants and be covered with my stockings and everything, So, what happened to that long, nice pants, that whole bodysuit? It ripped. And it ripped in the form of a thong in the back. And then I heard a voice tell me, you see, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and what's the other thing? Render your heart and not your garment. I never tell you to put on that. The people tell you to put on that, and you put on that because you want to please man. It's not about man, it's about pleasing God. So I mean, I think if I wear something that I'm uncomfortable with, God will let me know. Like the thongs. I would never go on stage with the thongs again.
Because it's not you anymore, right?
It's not me anymore. I used to feel very comfortable like that, though.
Which is fine.
I never cared. I felt comfortable, and everybody is on their own journey. So I'm not knocking nobody who wearing the thongs on stage. You go ahead, you fix up.
We're making that clear.
For me, Destra Garcia, the Queen of Bacchanal, I can't do it anymore.
No, you just know it's not for you anymore. You've changed. You've evolved.
I've evolved.
And that's a great
you
place
have all the right words.
No, that's a great. I know exactly what you're trying to say. We understand you clearly, and we respect that a lot. And when we return here on Boss Lady, we continue with the conversation. Now, Destra, I do have a little bit of a tricky question for you, all right? But I want to know what's your thoughts on the newer artists we've got out here. You know, for example, we've got Lady Lava when we talk about the females. When we talk about the guys, we've got Young Brother. And we've got so many others, you know, out here. What's your take?
Well, they are young and they are upcoming, and they're young people doing what young people do.
Right.
Breaking the molds, breaking barriers, crossing lines and borders, and I've done it myself, you know. I was in a place where people would condemn what I wear, you know. Why is she wearing that? Why is she winding up so? Why is she doing this? And you have to let young artists be themselves and find themselves, and everybody's on their own journey. I mean, in terms of the music, it's changed somewhat. I may not like every single song, I'll put that out there, but you know, in terms of what they're doing and how they're representing, and I'm seeing them overseas and they're making a difference and an impact in their specific genre and fan base and age group. As they grow, they would learn and change or adjust or evolve, as you say. But I think there are some older people that might knock the younger generation and the music, but just keep in mind, they're not making their music for you. They're making the music for their peers.
Sorry,
and as long as their peers are enjoying the music, then you have to enjoy the music of your peers. You still have me.
And you know, speaking of which, how would you feel about maybe some collabs in the future?
Oh, I've collabed with Young Brother. We did that song Rosie in 2023 before I did the whole hiatus. And I've seen Lady Lava and I like her vibe. And you know, Nyla and I have collaborated. I've collaborated with so many people that are younger than myself. I can't remember everybody. So all these young artists, they don't kill me for not calling any names. But I'm very open to it. I think it's wonderful when you bridge the gap and you merge the generations. You not only get a wider audience, but it's a teaching moment as well.
For both parties. So no, I like the fact that you're very much open to even more collabs in the future.
Absolutely.
You'll contact Destra for me, please. She'll take all your places. Now, when it comes to soca and entertainment, you have done it, basically all of it, you know. You've done it all. Like you said, you'd always wonder, well, what's the next step? What haven't I conquered? What I want to do next? Are there any new projects on the horizon right now?
Yeah, I think I want to do an album in every genre. So look out for probably an Afrobeat album, maybe a Christmas album, maybe an R&B album. I don't know, but I want to really do as much as I can musically and artistically as I can, so that I do complete the legacy and so that I leave something behind for the younger generation to say, you know, I want to be like that, you know, because I could look back and see what Whitney Houston did or what Aretha Franklin did or what Michael Jackson achieved. I also have a foundation that I'm doing, which you'll hear more about on the horizon. It's called the Destra Garcia Foundation, where we do a lot of charity and stuff. People that came to my concert would know about it, but look out for that as well. We're making a difference as well.
A lot of projects coming up. I like the fact that you were looking at different things as well and how you could impact TNT and the world. So that's great. And you mentioned when it comes to the younger ones, you somewhat want to be a role model where they can look at your stuff and say, I want to do that one day. I want to be that.
In their own way, of course.
Yeah, of course, with their own twist, but you as a guide in a sense. Now, looking into the camera, you know, talking to our viewers right now, especially the young viewers, any advice for them when it comes to managing the way of the world, you know, and getting exactly what they want out of life?
This camera, right?
Yes, that's your camera. Work it, girl, work it.
Well, to all the people that are coming behind, I just want to say to be your best authentic self, work very hard. Hard work is the only way to have success. Nothing comes easy, and if it comes easy, it's not going to be permanent. Always believe that there's a higher power than yourself. Never be too big to, you know, embrace the ones that have you where you are. In my case, my fans are everything. I know that without my fans, I would not have lasted 26 years in this industry. And just be true to yourself. Don't be afraid to say no. Ladies, don't be afraid to say no. No experience is worth giving up your morality or your self-respect. Always know that there's anything that you could achieve, and success is right on the horizon with hard work. Don't take any shortcuts. Work hard.
Oh, and woman to woman, especially young woman to you, Destra Garcia, who is a definite role model in my life. This has been such a beautiful experience, sitting down, hearing you be very real with us. Thank you for that. Thank you for the realness that you've brought to Boss Lady today.
I'm always real.
Yeah, no, really and truly. So very real, so simple, down to earth, and really couldn't ask for more. What an experience it has been chatting with you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for being a part of Boss Lady. My name is Ivana, and it was an absolute pleasure being your host today.